Late? What are you talking about late? We're not late. Welcome to the first episode of the Old Guys Barbershop Talk. I'm the mouth. My partner right beside me is the brains. I'm Dan Hill. Steve Krah, of course, of Indiana RBI. Steve, season two, and let's get right to the a couple things that we're going to do every week at this week in baseball across Indiana. And before we do that, real quick, I know I asked coaches and media people. I said, if you're going to tune into one episode, tune into this one. And now that we're actually online a few minutes late, we're going to get right to it because we only got a half an hour. So the first thing that we are going to do every week is what we call the BAI Top 5. This week's Top 5 is the top 5 stories from last year. Top 5 2022 stories. Steve and I actually worked on this quite a bit, and things came up. We weren't able to do our full year review of the top stories. So we're just going to give you the top 5 right now. Here's number 5. That's right. We were rookies last year. We started last year and we gave out our first BAI 9. This was what we called the top 9 impact players in the state of Indiana. And man, this was difficult. It's hard enough for the coaches to pick an all-state team, let alone pick a top 9. But man, we had some dudes on there. Coffee from Monroe Central, or was that Muncie Central? Monroe Central. Of course, the Duke from Babuff. Decker from Evansville North. Wasan from Heritage. Denny was only a sophomore from Mooresville. Huffman from Avon. Of course, you know Max Clark from Franklin. He'll be a senior this year. Wiley's now at Indiana Wesleyan. And Willard was at Eastside. That was our number 5 top story in 2022. Number 4, Kyle Schwarber. The dude from IU lit it up last year. Led the National League in home runs. First player ever, this is a cool little nugget, first player ever to have 3 home runs in the NLCS and the World Series. He had 3 home runs in both. Number 3, top stories from 2022. Right here, if you follow baseball last summer, you know that Cameron Tilley from Castle and Max Clark represented Indiana well as they took home gold last year in the 18U, the World Baseball Classic. And they represented so well, and we're going to see them this year too. They are back. We're looking forward to that. Number 2, and I'll tell you, everything I could do to keep this story from being number 1, Hagerstown goes to Cooperstown. I followed this pretty close last year. I mean, and it's pretty excited. You might say, you know, Schwarber did what he did last year. You know, how is this story number 2? Because this caught the attention of the whole state. As far, really, if you think about it, the story that caught Indiana's heart more than anything else in the baseball world was this, and that's why I wanted it really number 1. But the top story from 2022, and actually this was announced in 21, but is officially 2022, Hodges finally made the Hall. So Hagerstown, the only thing that can beat you going to Cooperstown was a guy getting in the Hall of Fame. So that is our 2022 top 5 stories in baseball across Indiana. There they are real quick. Again, take a look at them. Steve, welcome back. Season 2, we're sophomores now. And I've already made the first error before we even got started. That's going to be a pretty common theme, don't you think? I led the team in errors last year, but that's why I got you to bring some respectability to the outfit here. So I appreciate you being by my side again.
You got an eraser on the pencil.
So what we're going to do, let me pull something up here real quick, and I'm going to pull up the chat because, where'd it go here? Let me find it here. We have the ability now. I have no idea what this looks like on Twitter or anything else because I just actually found out just the other day that Twitter even has the ability to do, and somewhere on here on this, I'm going to figure this out. Somewhere on here I can see the chat from every Twitter and all of the things. We'll figure that out later when I get a break here while you're talking. And we're going to pass things over to you because the next thing up on our list, I want to kind of hammer through these kind of real quick because I want to tell our coaches and the media people why I asked them specifically to be on this show. So next up, another segment we're going to be doing every week, and that is the Captain's College Roundup. And baseball just started, past couple, well, this weekend actually for Division One, but there's been some more baseball being played in the D2, D3, NAIA realm, hasn't there, Steve? Give us a little scoop and tell us about where we're going to get the full college roundup that you're going to have out next every Monday.
Right. Every Monday, I started doing this a couple of years ago, kind of round up the highlights, the scores, the standings, put it all in one place. So I thought that was handy for me, and I guess other people would appreciate it too. We've got 39 schools, 39 colleges playing baseball here in Indiana. We got 10 D1s now that Southern Indiana is a D1 school. We got two D2s, 9 D3s, 15 NAIs, and 3 junior colleges. So we added IUPU Columbus. IUPUC is a new program. And like I said, Southern moved. Unless something can happen, Ivy Tech in Fort Wayne is in its last season, unfortunately. Almost all of the schools have played, given this weekend that D1 started. There's a handful of D3s that haven't had their first game yet, but most every team has played. So full speed ahead. And some of those games have been in Indiana. Now, most of them are Indianapolis and further south. It's still kind of frigid, but that's pretty cool to see baseball going on in Indiana in February.
Yeah, and the NAIA teams, like Taylor, they've already played so many games, and one of them being IUPUC that you mentioned.
Yeah, Marion of Indianapolis went to California and started their season. So they, I believe no, wait a minute. But
Was
they
it
did start
California?
their season. They started their season early. Yes, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't California.
I tell you, I had some on the D1 level. I had some things highlighted. I mean, I think the best start of Purdue. Of course, they started out playing Holy Cross, but Paul Totes, 3 home runs already for Purdue. And Ball State, Ryan Peltier, 2 home runs, 2 stolen bases. The interesting thing I saw about Purdue was, last year they started out 35 for 35 in stolen bases. They finally got picked off, and it was Michael Bolton Jr., the speedster for Purdue, that finally got caught the first time. I thought that was interesting. But got an interesting game coming up because I tell you, Lipscomb took it to Notre Dame. Notre Dame lost 2. They won 1 and lost 2 from Lipscomb, and it'll be interesting because this Tuesday
they got to face Michael Dunkelberger, who's
yeah.
South Bend St. Joe guy, on Friday. I watched a little bit of that game on the stream.
Well, their Lipscomb's pitching staff is strong. So I mean, I'm interested because this Tuesday, who is it? Valpo? Who plays? Who plays? No, USI. Yeah, Is it USI that plays Lipscomb? Yeah, Tuesday, USI plays Lipscomb, and I think that'll be, was this Notre Dame just not having a good weekend or what? They're playing Lipscomb again. I think we'll have a good gauge of where they're at with USI playing Lipscomb as well, because USI went 3-1 versus Western Illinois this week. Matter of fact, Caleb, the Castle kid, Caleb Nyhouse, is that how you pronounce that? Was 4 for 8 with 2 home runs and a triple. So now you've got every Monday. You said, tell me again. Every Monday you've got the full college roundup you're coming out with Indiana RBI, correct?
Right, college baseball records through. I go from Monday through Sunday.
Very good.
So and then a little hit the highlights and have all the standings and the scores.
Very good. Well, we're looking forward to that as always. And you mentioned IUPUC, IUPU Columbus. Did you see the lid I got on? I'm going to be on top of that. That is an official IUPUC lid right there. I got in front of the line for that one, of course. But we got a chance to talk to Coach Bickle. Um, as he gives a little, he's got an interesting background. You'll hear it here because he was an assistant at Ivy Tech, and so he got some time with Hirschberger there when he was there. Hirschberger was a program starter. So and he's a baseball guy. Bickle is. He's an Indiana baseball guy. Got to talk to him a little bit yesterday. So let's hear from the first year coach, and that's a first year coach, head coach of any program for the first year for IUPU Columbus. Coach Bickle, let's give him a listen. First year program, and you come out of the gate with a 5-game series versus Huntington. How special was that? And was that intentional?
Yeah, well, yes and no. Taylor, we had Taylor right after Huntington. Huntington was a good program. Local. I'm from Huntington. Went to high school with Thad. He just got the nod as the head coach this year. Mike has been a legendary coach for that area. Just announced his retirement last year, so there's a lot of respect there. I played at St. Francis, which was a Crossroads team that they didn't love each other, right? But I'm very familiar with them. Thad called me, asked if we had a chance to go on a spring trip, and it was special to be against a home team.
And that area, and baseball in this state. IUPUC picked, I think, the right guy to start up a new program. You mentioned you played at St. Francis. You were also on the coaching staff at Ivy Tech, Fort Wayne, and that's a relatively new program. So you know something about new programs as well. Tell me what it is to get excited about with IUPUC baseball in 2023, the inaugural year.
Well, this year in particular, it's about representing our players and our school and getting our people on the map and giving us a chance to compete against quality opponents and really establishing our identity as a team as we're trying to get into the River States next year. The announcements are there, and we're gearing up for next season. It's our first year here. Ivy Tech, I came from there. Lance Hirschberger started a couple programs there. He's known as a program builder. Also coached under the current coach, Wilkins. They play only Central today, another great coaching program. But my junior college experience, my college playing experience, and the connections and relationships that you make, I feel like it built me up for this opportunity. What's exciting for us at IUPUC is anything we do this year, it's better than we've ever done. And we get to really teach them the game of baseball, the work ethic, the culture, the people, how to represent a community rather than yourself. And then next year, it probably will kick in of how special this year really was, because our priority isn't necessarily winning championships this year because we can't play in them. We're a first-year program. So this year it's focusing on development, learning, and growing. And we got a lot of young guys native to Indiana. We've got some transfers to get excited about. Today, for example, we've got 2 exciting arms that we're showcasing. It's a good Marion team. So anything we do, to me, is pretty special. That we exist, 1. 2, that we're competing against quality established programs, and we learn through that process.
Well, you said you're starting the River States next year, which that'll probably establish some rivalries on a personal level. Is there, you guys have IU South Bend, you've got IU Kokomo, IU Southeast. Are those circled as people you want to have a rivalry with, or are there some personal rivalries you got this year?
Any IU school is we're a reflection of who we're going to be, but we have some teams that you can compare to. The similar IU degree systems, similar styles in campus. They have some years on us, and we have something to aspire towards. A couple of those are having a lot of success too. I wouldn't consider them rival games, but we want to be the IU school that people go to, and we got a long way to go to get there. But a great culture, good environment across the state of Indiana. To have 4 IU campuses represented across the state of Indiana, it's pretty good for us. The coaches, IU Kokomo and South Bend and Southeast, those coaches have reached out to help and mentor me through my first year too. So I have a lot of respect for them. I know what they've gone through. They've kind of cracked the code of how to run what they're going to run, and that's a challenge for us. It's our first year, and Anybody we play, I want to be a rivalry with. So I don't have any particular enemies. I want our guys to play the game the right way and respect it the way they should. And if we handle ourselves and play the game we're taught, then I'll play against anybody with the respect to the game of baseball.
Last question, Coach, is, baseball, nothing teaches how to deal with lumps better than baseball. Baseball is a game of loss, a game of errors. You've played some established teams this year, and like every baseball team is going to do, you're going to take some lumps. What some goals for 2023 for this inaugural program?
Our goal is to figure out the real character of our program, who's going to stay together and be a team, because it's not about our individuals, it's about our team. And so we're going to have to go through the lumps together. We're called the Crimson Pride. That was named after a family-like atmosphere. And so I don't write off family members. I'm going to give them the time it takes to develop. This year, what it looks like, we're going to play good teams. We're going to give them our best, and we're going to stick together whether we win or lose. And no matter what we do, it's a celebration of ourselves and our family and our culture, which I'm excited to do. And it's my first year head coaching too. So it's a chance for people to see what I'm really like and what it can blossom into.
Got one more thing to show here, a little bit of trivia. I was going to actually make this into a trivia, but I got to apologize to the Jared Ross here because one of the interviews I had a little technical glitch on. But I got to show you this real quick because it's a little bit of trivia for IUPUC. It is the first home run in the history of IUPUC baseball.
Attaboy, get out of here. Gone. Yes, sir!
I don't know if that was Coach Bickle there that gave that yes, sir, or not, but that was gold right there. First home run in IUPUC history. That's something you can never take from a kid. Moving right along, let's another segment that we're going to have on the show every week this week is one of the guys on our crew, Mark Delagarza. He runs the Summit City Sluggers that up there in Fort Wayne, and we've already pre-recorded, I think, about 14 of these things. They're just little coaching bits, and some of them are simple, and then they get more complex as we go throughout the year. But I think these are going to be really fun. Mark is a seasoned veteran coach, so a lot of good stuff, a lot of practical stuff coming from Mark Delagarza. So this is the first installment of DeLa Coach's Corner with Mark Delagarza. Let's give it a listen.
Today's topic is our dynamic warm-up. This is something I believe is big. A lot of teams, they come out and they get in the dugout and they grab a baseball and they just go out and start playing catch. I think before you play catch, you need to warm up, and you're warm when you start to sweat. Start out by locking your fingers in front of your face. You're right here, and you pull on your fingertips. Now you're going to stand on your right foot, and you're going to make small circles forward. We're going to go backwards. We'll switch feet. You're going to press your fingertips together. Elbows up, small circles forward, small circles backwards, side to side, and you're going to swim. Pitching positions, elbows up, fastball grip, small circles forward, backwards, swim. Switch to a curveball grip, forward, backwards, and swim. Switch to a changeup grip, forwards, backwards, and swim. Press your hands together, praying position. You're gonna rotate your fingers towards your chest and then slowly work them back out and try to get your fingertips pointing towards the ground. Feet together. Let's go here. Hands on the outside of your knees and rock forward. Put your knees together. Go side to side, circles to the left, circles to the right, and figure eights. Let's go feet shoulder width apart, elbows inside your knees. Press hard with your elbows against your knees and press your knees against your elbows. Rock forward, side to side, circles to the left, small circles to the right, and figure eights. Let's turn and face the foul pole. Stand on your left foot. Okay, now you're gonna hop back and forth over the foul line. Switch feet, both feet. Turn and face forward, go forwards and backwards. Knee highs, in place. Pumping your arms at the same time. Glute kicks, kick yourself in the butt. Before a game we would be doing this longer, but for video purposes, I cut everything short, give each viewer a chance to see how we do things and just give you a decent idea on how to get your team loose before they start to throw.
I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun going up there. We spent a day up in Fort Wayne just filming so many of these. And like I said, Mark knows what he's doing. So these are going to be practical stuff that we're going throughout the year. Moving forward here, just about done. Steve, you got to hold me accountable here. 30 minutes is going to be tough for me to do, but I want to pass things over to you now because this is a fun little bit we're going to do every week. It's called Where Are They Now? And we're looking at native Hoosiers, players from Indiana, and we're going to find out where they are now just to follow everybody along the scene on their careers in baseball. So, Steve, get us started with Where Are They Now? Who are we going with first?
These are all north of the border. They're all tied to Indiana. First guy we got is somebody that most people call Donnie Baseball. He was at South Beach the last few years with the Miami Marlins. He is now the bench coach for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I like that Evansville Memorial. There's some 70s hair for you. Who we got next? We're sticking with the Blue Jays.
Got another guy who went from Florida to Canada. He was a star at Bishop Luers in Fort Wayne, a JUCO star, and now he's one of the best defensive center fielders around. Some people call him the outlaw. That's Kevin Kiermaier.
He had a good
was the guest of our show in season 1.
That's right. He was actually on. It was a neat little thing we did with Max Clark, and we had an interview with Max Clark. So we brought on Kevin Kiermaier, and he gave him some 1-2 on, hey, when you make it to the bigs, it's all about what you do next. And this is a good pickup for the Blue Jays. I like this. Where are we going next, Steve-O?
Next guy is Greg Vogt. Greg Vogt pitched at Carmel High School, Anderson University, and he's made quite a name for himself in the baseball world. He started PRP, which is based there in Noblesville.
The Mambas.
The Mambas is his travel team. The Toronto Blue Jays kind of headhunted him, and he is now the rehab pitching coach for the Blue Jays, and he moved to Dunedin, but he does still do things with PRP. He's doing both things. So that's Greg Vogt. He has people come from all over the place to Mojo Up Fieldhouse in Noblesville, or he does it over Zoom. He's got
quite a pedigree of talent that he's associated with, helped out over the years. I like these next two here too.
Well, we've got Zach Britton. Zach Britton, some people think of Zach Britton as the relief pitcher. We've got a Zach Britton from Indiana, too, and he's a catcher. Batesville High School guy. He played at Louisville, U of L, and he's a non-roster invitee of the Blue Jays. So he's going to you tune in those spring training games, or you get to go down to Florida and see some of those. Get to see him. He's going to try to find a place with the team this year, or may end up in AAA, but he's a non-roster invitee, like I said.
He's a good pickup. I tell you what, he lit it up with the in the Arizona Fall League with the I love minor league names. Look at some of these names: Vancouver Canadians, New Hampshire River Cats. For the Arizona Fall League, where he made the All-Star. He made the All-Stars for the Arizona Fall League. Is the Salt River Rafters.
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus here. The New Hampshire River Cats. Their bullpen coach is going to be Anthony Gomez, who was with PRP too. So that connection is working out, and so he's going to in the Blue Jays organization now too. He's from Northwest Indiana.
Here's another nugget of information that you pulled out of the archives of your mind. I love this one. Who do we got next?
Ben Wagner. Ben Wagner is the radio voice of the Blue Jays, has been for several years. Before that, he was with the Buffalo Bison, which is a AAA team for many years, lived in Buffalo. And now he and his wife live in Dunedin, which is where the Blue Jays train. Unfortunately, during COVID, he had to do all that remotely, but now it's back to normal. And he's his Indiana connection. Well, he went to Fairfield High School, played baseball there, went to Indiana State, and so it's pretty cool that we got another Indiana voice in baseball.
Yeah, that was a
They're on 590 The Fan on AM.
that's pure gold. I love those nuggets information. Moving right along, half hour, Steve. Boy, this is gonna be tough now. You know I like to talk. Let's talk about BAI conversations. I want to talk about basically every week. If you didn't know, there is a new podcast that I run for the IHSBCA. It's called IHSBCA Conversations. You can have it, you can see it, or you can listen to it over to there. You can listen to it on the Apple Podcast app, the Spotify app, as well as IHSBCA.conversations and or ihsbca.buzzsprout.com. You'll see it all over our Twitter page. You'll see it there. But this is something that we're also, the IHSBCA is also working on a YouTube page so that we can get the video format of these up as well. So every week, Steve and I are just going to give just a quick overview of who we've talked to and what's coming up next. Of course, Steve, Indiana RBI, if you're watching this show, then you know Steve in the pen of Indiana RBI. Steve, who'd you talk to? What kind of articles you got coming out this week?
Well, this past week I had articles on Adam Pietrowicz, who is now the coach at Saginaw Valley State. He's a John Glenn High School grad, was at Western Michigan the last 9 years as assistant coach. This is his first foray into as a head coach, but he's got several seasons he was a Valpo prior to Western Michigan. Josh Meany, he is now the head coach at Indianapolis Lutheran High School, and he is a Martinsville grad, and he's been around. He was an assistant coach at Lutheran, and he's coached on the travel ball and the Little League scene, so he's not new to baseball by any means. Venturing away from Indiana just a little bit, but it's interesting to me, and I hope it's interesting to other people. Got to talk to the original neuro skills coach. And I got hooked up with him because his wife happened to chat me up at the ABCA in Nashville in January, and I followed up on that. So he's training the brain. He's got clients all the way from major league ball players like Jameson Taillon, who is now with the Cubs pitcher. He was with the Yankees before that. Nick Gonzalez is a big hotshot prospect with the Pirates, played for the Dubois County Dragons or Bombers. I'm sorry. No, I really am going back. There was the Dragons at one point in 18, and so he also worked with him, but he works with students. He works with executives, just training skills, neuro skills, and getting the most out of their brain. Very interesting guy. He is he's based in Denver. Ryan Pepio, who's from Westfield, played at Butler, is working to get a spot with the Dodgers. He may be in the starting rotation. He may be out of the bullpen. Had a nice conversation with him. We talked about everything from his pitch selection to his favorite restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona, where he lives, to all kinds of fun stuff. So that was a story I did. And Chris Gorman works for Bullpen Tournaments, and he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. So talk to him about what he does. If you're out at a 15U through 18U event at Grand Park, Championship Park, or maybe Kokomo Municipal, you might run into Chris. He's probably moving quickly because he's become a busy guy. But those are stories I worked at this week.
So that's it?
That's it. That's it. This was a good week. College Roundup is tomorrow. Sean Stifler's the Notre Dame coach. I'm going to get a chance to see him tomorrow
Good
at
deal.
an event. And Gage Stanifer, a little later in the week, I'm going to talk to Gage. So
Nice,
those are at least
nice.
3 things in a hopper.
Very nice. Well, at the IHSBCA, I talked to one. We've got actually a couple of them this week. I got next two episodes. A good one. Got a chance to talk to Coach Maloney for Ball State. That is the episode that'll actually be available at ihsbca.buzzsprout.com or on the Apple Podcast app or Spotify. It's actually available right now. And then next Sunday night, I had a fun one. You know me, I got to make this fun. So Tyler Gillum, the head coach for the Savannah Bananas, got a chance to talk to him. And I'll tell you what, he is more than just the Savannah Bananas scene that you know, if you don't know what the Savannah Banana, of course, anybody watching this, they know who Savannah Bananas are. But he is much, much more than just what you see with the Savannah Bananas. This guy is a baseball guy through and through. Steve, what's the over-under that we're ever going to make an episode at a half an hour this year? You think that was a good call? So, moving right along.
I think it's a worthy goal.
It was a worthy goal. It was a worthy goal. Let's talk about now. This is why I asked coaches to tune in. This is why I even asked media people to tune in, because we've got some new things in the pipe this year. Remember, our whole mission in this is to promote baseball in the state of Indiana. So we got a few different ways we're going to do it this year, a few different new things we're going to try to roll out for our sophomore year. And, you know, if I'm behind the mic and if I'm running tech on this thing, there's going to be some errors, but it's going to be fun. Some of them are just associated with us, but there's some others that we want everybody to be involved with. Let's talk about how. The first, obviously, the one we're in right now, This Week in Baseball Across Indiana, is going to be every Sunday night at 8 p.m. You know, I mentioned earlier that we've got this thing going on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're also going to be on ihsaatv.org. We're going to probably hold off on that until the season starts. So we're going to be everywhere. I think I joked with one person that, you know, if AOL and MySpace were still alive, we'd be there too. Somebody, some of the elders need to explain to the young kids watching what AOL and Facebook are. Anyway, that's the first thing we're going to do This Week in Baseball Across Indiana. Next is we have another new thing, the Game of the Week. We are going to be broadcasting one game every week. Most of them are going to be on Saturdays, but some on Fridays. We're going to mix it up a little bit. The BAI Game of the Week. We are totally excited about that. Next up is the tag, and this is where I want everybody. This is where my goal is to get us all on a mission here on the same page. What is a hashtag? What is the @ symbol? What's the difference? Well, if you tag us, Home Plate BAI, Home Plate BAI, that tags us. We get a notice, and that makes it easy. But let's put a hashtag on there, and the difference is a hashtag, when you click a hashtag, anybody can tag a hashtag, and now it's a central place where all the information is. So game updates, score updates, everything. Tag BAI 2023, and that's not, you know, we're not doing that to promote our organization, Baseball Across Indiana. It's just a central tag, BAI 2023. It's easy to remember. And if we have that central tag, if all the media use that tag, if all the coaches use that tag, that means all the media people, not just us. We have a central resource to get all of the baseball information for high school baseball information in 2023. It's almost like it's its own website, and now you only have to remember one tag. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't tag the other media people, because, you know, we support the other media people that are doing what we're trying to do just as much. But having this as a central hashtag on Facebook and Twitter will make it easy for media companies, especially, who are trying to promote baseball across Indiana, you know, lowercase baseball across Indiana, not us. It'll make a central place to make it easier to do that. So BAI 2023, the hashtag on Facebook and Twitter. Let's get all on the same page on that, and let's promote this great game in Indiana, because, as I say all the time, Indiana is a baseball state. BAI 2023, that's one of the things. We've got a few more coming up here. The next one This is where I want everybody involved. This is going to be Saturday morning live. We're talking 7 a.m., maybe 7:30. We might rethink that 7 a.m. thing. But early in the morning, we're going to do what you're familiar with is like a college game day. Like, ESPN runs the college game day on Saturday morning. We're going to run Saturday morning live. When I say we, this is going to be a team effort. So if you're a media company and you're broadcasting a game on Saturday, give us a call into the show, and we're going to reach out to you. We're going to follow your schedule, and we're going to have you on to talk about the game that you're broadcasting. We're going to have coaches call in to talk about a lot of the big matchups. It's going to be a high school baseball game day, Saturday morning live. We are really excited about this because this is going to be a team effort with media and coaches and representatives all over the state to really make this an exciting venture for everybody. So that is the plan for 2023. Steve, we're doing too bad. I started about 5-10 minutes late, and it's 8:42 right now. So we didn't do too bad. But what are your thoughts?
Give it a B plus.
2023. We've added some new ventures. This is our sophomore year. We got to live up to be a super soph here. What are you excited about for 2023?
All of the above. I think getting around the state to see baseball in different places, that's got me fired up. I know there was one thing you didn't mention that as far as the new stuff goes that's related to social media, and that's team reps.
Yes.
We'd like to have a team rep, maybe a manager or a super fan, could be one of the coaches, but somebody to use that hashtag BAI and send scores. If do a short Twitter video, meaning about a minute or so, point the camera, put it on horizontal, point the camera at the coach or one of the players, give a synopsis of what happened that day. That promotes your program. That helps everybody.
That's right. And coaches
with that hashtag it just and send it to Twitter, tag us
and you don't even use that hashtag. And I'll tell you what, and this is something, coaches, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be spam emailing. So make sure you put homeplate@baseballacrossindiana.com in your safe sender list in your email because we're going to be reaching out to you to talk about that BAI team reps. Because this is something, again, this is not just something for us to use. When you take these videos, and we even have a training program to teach the team reps. And like Steve said, it could be a manager on the team. It could be that old dude that shows up at every high school game, the super fan, we call him. But a team rep, take a quick Twitter length video, meaning like a 2-minute video, put that BAI 2023 hashtag on there. You don't even have to tag our Twitter handle. Put BAI 2023. Now every media outlet in the state can use that to promote baseball in the state of Indiana. These are simple things, but we can harness the power of social networking and really, use social networking for something good, other than what it can be at times, which we're all familiar with. So that's kind of our really simple plan. There's nothing really highly technical about it. We want a team rep. We want everybody to use BAI 2023, and then collectively us and the media outlets around the state, and we got some good ones. I tell everybody, I'm not a very good businessman because I'm promoting other businesses that do what we do. But I think at the end of the day, every baseball person I talk to, every person who covers sports in Indiana, from, and I want to miss so many names, from like Rakestraw to Nathan Laird to Condry to, there's just so many of them that I'm not even going to try to mention all of them. But they're so good at what they do. And we want to promote them too because that's what we're all here for. That brings us to today's final out. And Steve and I always draw straws, and I drew the short straw today. I've got today's first BAI final out. And I'll tell you, I in this interview that is actually available right now with Coach Maloney on the Apple Podcast app and the Spotify, etc. He was just full of great quotes. And one of the great quotes that he said that I absolutely love is this: do what you say you're going to do. And that is gold. Do what you say you're going to do. Another simple quote, but when you think about it, it's profound. And I think about all the things that we're trying to do, and Steve and I have, we have full-time jobs as well. We've got so many other responsibilities, as well as the rest of the crew. I didn't even mention Larry Babcock is on here now with us. Kyle Corbin is on here with us. Of course, we got Mark, we got Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzatter, Chris Beecham. I got to say real quick, up in lives in Wabash. We lost Chris to the trade portal. Peru, come on, Peru, you stole Steve from us, or Chris from us. But no, I'm kidding. Actually, we're excited about Chris being an assistant there at Peru. But do what you say you're going to do. So for today's final out, that's our goal. We're reminding ourselves there, do what you say we're going to do. We put a lot on our plate, but we're going to live up to it. It might be clunky at times, like the start of this show started. But think about that from a player's standpoint. Get involved and challenge yourself. Don't get comfortable with the status quo. Challenge yourself and then do what you say you're going to do. That's today's BAI Final Out. Thank you for tuning in, folks, for the first episode of our sophomore year. Steve, I'm pretty excited about this. We'll see you next week, folks, on This Week in Baseball Across Indiana.